Rev up your engines! All right, you're gonna think I lost my mind. Here is a Dodge that I would buy. Yes, the man who hates Dodge products, right? Well, have I lost my mind? Well, maybe I have. I don't know, I'm getting old, but it is a heavy-duty Cummins turbo diesel. Now, as I said over and over again, I don't think it was such a great idea when Chrysler and Dodge got bought by Fiat. Quality started to go down. They started using Italian diesel engines in some of their stuff. Not in this. Cummins, American, 6.7 liter turbo diesel engine. Now, granted, you might not need an engine this big and this powerful, but if you do, it's the engine to get. People get them because of their incredible towing capability. This thing's rated to tow 11,890 pounds. Now, that's what it's rated for. You can actually pull quite a bit more. I've seen people pull 20,000 pounds with these things. Now, you're not going to be able to go on a highway going 80 miles an hour doing that, but it just shows what one of these diesel engines can pull. It's got a 6-speed automatic. Now, yeah, you know, Dodge builds the bodies, and the bodies are bodies. The problems that you have when a vehicle is problematic is either the engines go out of the transmission. A great Cummins diesel engine that can last a really long time. That's why if I was going to get a gigantic truck, I would definitely think about getting one of these. Now, it is a diesel. It is a big, heavy diesel, right? So it doesn't matter what he does, he gets 12 miles a gallon. Highway, city, that's what he's going to be getting because they're big, giant monster work trucks. You do not worry about gas mileage if you're going to get a truck like this. Like I said, if you don't need a big giant diesel engine, hey, buy something else because you're getting all that power. If you need that power, runs a landscaping business, needs to pull all kinds of stuff, you're going to get bad gas mileage in any kind of diesel. When you're pulling any kind of weight, you get an engine that powerful. That's just the way it goes. And of course, with landscaping business, well, you're going to be getting in a lot of dirt, so it's also 4x4. And of course, it's a real truck, so it's got a real bed, too. This isn't one of these stupid trucks with a baby bed on it. As a matter of fact, this guy's got 2 of them, and the other one has a 5th wheel in the back for really towing heavy stuff. He can fit a bunch of his crew in here. He's got mixing equipment because he's a musician, too, but you know, they're very spacious. Now, he bought it used with 175,000 miles. I know a lot of people are going to say, oh, he must be insane buying that thing with that mileage on it, right? Not really. I've seen these things with 500,000 miles on them, and they're still going. And he obviously knew something about vehicles because, you notice, he did not buy a GM diesel pickup truck. Now, I had a customer who did the same thing as him, only instead of buying this Ram Cummins, he bought a GM diesel. The thing got to like 210, it started falling apart. If you want to learn from experience and you're going to buy a used diesel, don't think about buying the GM diesels. You ask anybody who knows diesels, they'll tell you the GMs don't hold up like the other ones do. Now, I mean, let's say you bought it brand new. It just started falling apart till they had 200-something thousand miles. Some guys think, oh, well, that's okay. Well, really, for a diesel truck, that's not okay. Look at all that chrome. It's a classic truck. It isn't all plastic like all the modern ones are. Of course, this is plastic. Well, the bumper's still nice and metal. This is plastic. It's a massive engine. And sure, it's kind of hard to get some of the back parts, but you really don't have to do much to these diesels. So let's start it up, climb up here. I'm getting old. I got to pull myself in. Start her up. Starts right up. Now, for a diesel, it's actually pretty quiet. We got the hood open. You don't hear a bunch of horrible rattling noises like you do in a bunch of the Fords. Even though this thing's got 193,903 miles on it. 4-wheel drive systems, all done electronically. Now this guy's a big guy. It's a big truck. Check it out. Look at the space between my head and the roof. That's a long distance. If you're a big guy, hey, you're definitely going to feel comfortable in one of these things. As we put it in reverse, the camera system's not working on this at the moment. This is a serious work truck, and it's got some bash damage from work. Well, such is life. We really don't care. We have eyes. You can see it. Work trucks are going to get dings on them. Now, he bought it with 171,000 miles and basically changed the oil on it. I mean, unlike a lot of the other Chrysler Dodge products, you get a Cummins diesel. They're excellent vehicles. If I was going to get a diesel, I'd want the Cummins diesel because they have such a history of making good engines over the ages. Is this truck gonna make me eat my own words? Well, let's get out the scan tool and find out. So in we go. Close the door so it shuts up. Turn the key on. Nice black and chrome interior. Like you say, the gauges give you all kinds of information. It's doing the auto VIN read. In a work truck, it makes much more sense to have regular upholstery, fabric, not leather. It's going to hold up a lot better when people throw crap over it and just last longer. We found a few faults: radio, passenger door, driver's door. That's all the other stuff's perfectly fine. So we'll start with the BCM that has 3 codes. Lost communication with camera module. We know the camera's not working. Center stop lamp control. License plate, lamp control. Well, that's all because the tailgate got hit and stuff's bent and broken in there. If he wants to fix it, go ahead and fix it. If he doesn't care about the backup, he's always pulling the trailer anyways. And that's obvious because it got hit. That has nothing to do with the problem the vehicle had from wearing out. It's just from running into stuff. That's what happens with a work truck. A problem with the video input, well, he doesn't really care. The passenger door module has a code. Door module internal is missing calibration. As in all modern vehicles, its computer modules all over the place, even working stuff in the doors well as door lock works. Everything else works. Who knows, he bought it used. Maybe at some time it was in a wreck and they didn't reconfigure the module in there. Driver's door module, we'll see what that is. Master switch, front right window switch. Door module internal, missing calibration. I know, that window works. That window works, so who really cares? All the information about how everything runs. There we go. We'll start looking at this data here. On the transfer case of the 4-wheel drive, it's all normal. It's all black data. None of it's red. Check it out. The intelligent battery sensor even shows the state of health of the battery, that it's 76.5% good, the battery. All kinds of data. It's all correct. Everything's complex these days, even the diesels. You gotta have a mechanic who knows what he's doing to mess around with these things. But if you change the oil regularly, you might have to see a mechanic for any kind of engine work for a long time. Now there's no backup camera, so I'm gonna have to look. Last time I drove a Dodge, I ran the neighbor's mailbox down. So I'll take it a little wider this time. For a big old diesel truck, it isn't all that loud. Yeah, they're not as quiet as gasoline vehicles, but these are nowhere near as loud as the old ones were. Big truck, but it handles perfectly well. Now, it does make a noise when you got the fan on, but that's because there's a piece of leaf or something in there, so we'll turn the fan off. Now the noise is gone. You want to be high and dry up in the air. It's a nice tall truck. Our drag strip, so we'll drive down here, and we'll look behind us. There's nobody behind us. Oh, yes, there is. So, we'll have to go fast. We'll have to go. And here we go. Now you'll notice one thing. You didn't really hear the shifts, and you don't really feel them. This isn't a race truck, it's a big diesel work truck. It's not particularly fast off the line like the Hellcat Hemi pickup truck that I drove last year that had 700 horsepower. Now that was insane, but this has pulling power. This is a work truck. It's made to pull a lot of weight, not breaking down. It's almost to 200,000 miles. And it's had basically nothing done to it but oil changes. All right, so what's my conclusion? Yeah, he bought it with 170,000 miles. It still runs pretty much like new when he's just changed the oil in it. And everybody's gonna say, Scotty, you're such a hypocrite. Now you're saying these are great. I'm only saying they're great Dodges because they got Cummins engines. You want a giant truck that pulls a lot of weight, and you don't care about 13 miles a gallon, towing, pulling things all over the place, you might think about one of these 2,500 Cummins for heavy duty work. That's what it's made for. It can last many hundreds of thousands of miles. Look at this thing. Almost 200,000 miles. It still runs pretty much like new. And here's some bonus questions and answers. Marky J. Subban says, my Ford Pinto automatic transmission is slipping. I got a 79 Ford Pinto cruising wagon, V6. Just purchased it. It's 126,000 miles. It's sat a long time. Now, is it worth rebuilding the transmission because it's starting to slip? I want to run it as a daily runner. Well, I'm amazed. There's a Pinto that's still running down the road, right? It's a 79, right? If that's really 126,000 miles, you say it's starting to slip, do this. First, because it's an old vehicle, take 1 quart of the fluid out. Suck it out through the dipstick and a suction pump. Put in 1 quart of Lucas transmission anti-slip additive. Not the new thin stuff, but the old thick stuff, because that's a 79. And I've seen them stop slipping. 126,000 miles, it still might have some good life on it. And that can often just, it's been sitting, things are crapped out, and that Lucas slip fix can often work quite well. Give it a try first. Then if it is, I don't know if you're going to find anybody who knows how to rebuild that old thing. All those guys are dead or they're retired. They don't work on those things anymore. But do try that. I've seen the Lucas slip fix additive work great on those old things. A lot of the new ones, I wouldn't put them in, even the thinner stuff. But the old thick stuff, hey, I've seen it do miracles. Take one quart out, suck it out, pour that in, drive it a couple 100 miles. And if it fixes it, hey, great. You know, I've seen it fix quite a few of them. Because you're going to have one heck of a time finding anybody who knows how to rebuild that old thing anymore. All those mechanics are dead or retired. So if you never want to miss another one of my new car repair videos, remember to ring that bell.